Responsibilities of notaries public. A notary is responsible for reading and understanding state government article, Title 18, Annotated Code of Maryland, as well as regulations, handbooks, and other public guidance issued by the Secretary of State relating to responsibilities of notaries public and performance of notarial acts. B. Notaries public are public officers, and it is their legal responsibility to perform notarial acts in compliance with the notary law and regulations. C. When a notary public uses an identification credential under State Government Article, Section 18-206, B, or 18-214, A, 1, 2, 3, Annotated Code of Maryland, to identify a remotely located individual or an individual in the notary public's physical presence for the performance of a notarial act, the notary public shall document in the notary's journal the identification number associated with the identification credential as confirmation that the individual signing a record was correctly identified. Change in name, address, or email information. Notaries public are required to notify the Office of the Secretary of State within 30 days if, at any time during their commission, a notary public changes their A. Name. B. Home address. C. Home phone number. D. Cell phone number, if one was provided at the time of application. E. Personal electronic mail, email, address. F. Business phone number. G. Business address, if one was provided at the time of application. H. Business electronic mail, email, address, if one was provided at the time of application, or I. County of residence. Electronic mail communications. Effective January 1, 2021, and except for correspondence relating to enforcement actions, the Office of the Secretary of State will send all communications to notaries public using electronic mail only. Each notary public is responsible for ensuring the Office of the Secretary of State has a current and active personal email address. Enforcement actions. Due to a lawful delegation of authority from the Governor pursuant to State Government Article, Section 18-104, B. 1, Annotated Code of Maryland, the Secretary of State, effective January 21, 2015, and the Assistant Secretary of State, effective September 2, 2015, may take an enforcement action under State Government Article, Section 18-104, A, Annotated Code of Maryland, to deny, refuse to renew, revoke, suspend, or impose conditions on a commission as notary public for any act or omission that demonstrates the individual lacks the honesty, integrity, competence, or reliability to act as a notary public. B. Acts or omissions found in State Government Article, Section 18-104, A, 1, I, 7, Annotated Code of Maryland, govern when the Secretary of State or Assistant Secretary of State may take an enforcement action against a notary public. C. Acts or omissions that may constitute a failure to discharge any duty required of a notary public, whether imposed by any federal or state law or regulations adopted by the Secretary of State, include but are not limited to 1. Failure to adequately identify a signer under the standards set forth in State Government Article, Section 18-206, A, or B, Annotated Code of Maryland. 2. Failure to properly execute a certificate of a notarial act in accordance with State Government Article, Section 18-215, Annotated Code of Maryland. 3. Charging a fee for notarial services higher than allowable by Regulation .02 of this chapter. 4. Failure to maintain an accurate record of notarial acts in a journal as required by State Government Article, Section 18-219, Annotated Code of Maryland, and 5. Performing a remote notarial act before notifying the Secretary of State as required by Regulation .07a, 1, 3, of this chapter and State Government Article, Section 18-214, E, Annotated Code of Maryland. D. A notary public convicted of a felony or crime involving fraud, dishonesty, or deceit shall report the conviction to the Office of the Secretary of State within 10 days of the conviction or within 10 days after they are released from incarceration, whichever is later. Failure to properly report under this paragraph may result in an enforcement action against the notary public under this regulation.